Well, as the start of the 2023 academic calendar in higher learning institutions reaches the application and registration processes, analysts have advised prospective students to carefully consider their choice of study. With the growing desperation to be admitted and to find space in institutions, it seems that the trend of students taking up courses for the sake of it is at an upward trajectory. But why is this important, and why do prospective students need to consider when making the decision of which academic course to choose? Skills training consultant Maseru Madlala and UKZN lecturer Siyabonga Cele weigh in on this discussion. A warm welcome to both our guests. Maseru, I'd like to start with you. As a skills training consultant in this area, I wonder, when you do come across, a student cohort, do you get the sense that enough input is being given to them when it comes to choosing the right courses to study once they get into university?
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, and thanks for having me. Yes, I think the student, when he or she is doing grade 10, needs to know his or her career path. When they are choosing their subjects, I believe you choose subjects according to what qualification you want in future, what you want to be. And I think the high schools are not doing enough for the students to do that, because that is why when we're doing this point system at the university, we find them having problems choosing what they don't want because of lack of the points. So I think from as early as grade 10, when they're choosing subjects, during your grade 10, 11 and 12, you clearly know what is your major subjects. Firstly, your major subjects. Secondly, the point system that is used by the university, I think.
Right. Well, Siyabonga, I want you to chime in on this. Maseru was saying, from the age of about 16, 17, one ought to already know what career path they want to follow, because that, in essence, will help them choose which courses to study in university. I would like to put forward to you in saying that might be a tall order for a 16, 17-year-old to have already figured out. What are your thoughts on that? Because as a lecturer, you're dealing with these students coming in through university, oftentimes in the middle of the year, changing courses, changing their study patterns. Siyabonga, I'm going to ask you to unmute, please.
Okay, sorry for that.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Togozo, and good morning to the viewers. Thanks for having me. The way I look at it, I think the learners should be guided as early as grade 8, because before they reach grade 10, the teachers, the parents, in fact, all the stakeholders who are involved, they already know which subject the students are good at. From grade 10, that's where now they choose whether commerce streams, science, or general. So I think it's very important that the students, when they reach grade 10, they already know which career path they want to follow, because whatever stream they are going to choose at grade 10 is going to determine which course are they going to take when they reach university. Okay, let's take, for instance, let's say a learner wants to be maybe a mechanical engineering. That student, obviously, he or she is going to take physics. And then the student must also familiarize themselves with the minimum requirements when they reach the university. But I think the teachers as well as the parents must also intervene, because at that age, the student will don't even know, just going to school, don't even know which career path, the student will have no clue at that age. So the parents, in fact, all the stakeholders must also be involved in helping the students to choose which career path that they are going to follow. Because that is very important, that if I want to study chemical engineering, I know which university is offering that course, and then what are the minimum requirements, what are the points that are needed in that particular call.
Yeah. Maseru, I mean, what Siyabonga is alluding to here is the research component when it comes to trying to find your course of choice. You have to do the research. You have to know what it entails. But at the same time, he's also kind of brought to our attention how rigorous an exercise that is. It's not just about, following your passions, but it's about finding the right institution, finding out the admission requirements, and most importantly, whether or not you even have the aptitude towards that particular course.
Yes, but I do blame parents and high school teachers, especially grade 10, for them to have an ultimate positive impact. Because if at grade 10 they do career days, not at grade 12, but grade 10. Because the thing is with grade 10, it's where they choose the subjects. And then now, when they go to the university, they don't even understand the point system. They don't even understand the entry requirement. They don't even understand that if you don't qualify for this qualification, you can do a bridging course. That is why they ended up falling in the trap of varsity status, as long as I'm in varsity. But they don't understand that you need to do what you want. You need to do what you're passionate. You need to do what you think in future will work for you. So they ended up doing any course. That is why we've got high rates of unemployed graduates in South Africa, because they do what they don't know, they do what they don't want because of the point system.
Yeah, I mean, you've touched on a very important subject, Maseru, that being, of course, the unemployment rate. And we know the plight of graduates. They form their own cohort and their own percentile when it comes to the joblessness rate in this country. Siyabonga, what's your response to that? Is enough attention being paid to the job market in that research that you're saying students absolutely need to do, or prospective students absolutely need to do before applying for a specific course that they have in mind?
Okay, so my take is that I think there are interventions that are done by the different stakeholders, but that is not enough, because at the moment we find that there's quite a number of unemployed graduates. You find that there are many people who are unemployed, but they finished their studies, they've graduated, but now we find that they are in excess. Let's take, for instance, someone who wants to study human resource management. How many times in a company they hire that person, like a HR manager? So now I think there must be an alignment between what the students are doing at university as well as the job market. So we need to focus on those scarce skills. But I think the government needs to intervene, even the university, even the parents, all the stakeholders must work together. Because now we find ourselves whereby, I will take my institution, whereby most teachers now are teaching overseas in China, in Taiwan, South Korea. Because in South Africa, we're having a problem whereby there are many teachers who can teach, let's say, for instance, commerce subject. So we have a lot of teachers, but we have few opportunities, or in fact, employment opportunities. Yeah. I think there's not enough attention that is being paid between what the students are doing at the university and what the industry wants outside.
Well, it seems that there's a lot to consider. A lot of factors are, in fact, at play. And I hope from this conversation alone, our viewers are getting the sense that it is actually a rigorous exercise trying to figure out where you're applying to and which courses you're applying for. But I want to thank both our guests for joining us to have that conversation. That was skills and training consultant Maseru Madlala and UKZN lecturer Siyabonga Cele. Well, Buhle Madulini has the results.